From the Ticats Audio Network, this is Ticats Today with Brayden Neville.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Ticats Today on this Thursday, June the 22nd, 2023. I'm Brayden Neville and thank you for tuning in. Exciting times in Ticat land. The team had its walkthrough today and the last time they will take Tim Hortons Field before tomorrow's home opener. That's right here in the city of Hamilton. It'll be buzzing tomorrow night as the Ticats play that home opener against the Montreal Alouettes. This team's ready to go. They want to show out in front of the fans. They want to show out in front of that hometown crowd, and these Ticats fans need something to cheer for, and hopefully this team can give them the first win of the season. I spoke to a lot of guys about having that home field advantage. Coach O, Matt Shiltz, James Butler, and Lawrence Woods all made it clear that there's one goal, and that's to give these fans a win on home turf. Later in the show, I will also be speaking to Louis B. I wanted to catch up with him, get his take on the Ticats team and what they need to do to get in that win column. But first, I asked Coach O about what needs to be done against this Montreal Alouettes team and more. All right, Coach, home opener tomorrow. What does this team need to do to get in the win column here?
Yeah, it's simple, without trying to be funny. Like, we need one more point than the other team, right? We got to see improvement in a lot of areas, and that's the goal, is to win. We're excited to be at home, though. It's nice.
And yeah, it's playing in front of that home crowd. How much of a boost does that give you playing in front of these Ticats fans?
It's always a boost. Like, we know they come out in droves. They're going to be excited. It's an exciting time, but it's the first one on the schedule, so we're just looking forward to it.
That was Coach O. Following today's walkthrough, the Ticats released their depth chart for tomorrow's game against the Alouettes, and there's a few notable changes to Friday's lineup, the most notable being on that O-line that's seen its fair share of injuries here early on in the season. Joel Figueroa and Colterwood Manzi, they're both out with injuries, so the O-line will see Brandon Kemp at left tackle. He was at right tackle last game. Brandon Revenberg at left guard, David Beard at center, so those two will be staying put in their usual positions. We'll also see Dayton Black, the 2023 first-round draft pick. He will make the start at right guard. 6'7" American rookie Kendrick Sartor will make his first start in the CFL at right tackle. And of course, one of the big stories of the week, Chris Van Zyl will make his long-awaited return to the team and suit up in this one, backing up that O-line. A moment Van Zyl is very excited for, and I know tons of Ticats fans are just happy to see him back, suited up for the black and gold. Matt Shiltz will be getting the start in place of Bo, and I spoke to him about getting the start, which we will get to in just a bit. At receiver, Tyreek McAllister and Richie Sindani will make their Ticats debuts. And on defense, pretty much everything staying the same as last week, except Lawrence Woods will make his return after being out in that game against the Argonauts. And he's a key member on that defense at the corner position and also on that special teams as the kick returner. I spoke to him today about getting back in the lineup. All right, Lawrence, you missed the game last week. You're back in the lineup here for tomorrow's game. How does it feel to be back here playing in the home opener?
Man, it feels great, to actually suit it up back at home. I had to miss one because of unforeseen circumstances, but it honestly feels good to come back and be able to suit up and play at Tim Hortons Field,
And now, what does this defense need to do in this home opener to shut down this Montreal offense?
We just got to stick to the roots, stick to what we've been doing, top down, lockdown, tackle the ball, and create turnovers.
And this special teams has been a highlight for the team so far to start the first couple of games. What have you noticed from the special teams, and what do they need to do to keep that going here tomorrow?
What we need to really do is score on special teams. That's one thing I could say that we honestly need to do. We accumulated the yards, and honestly, we need to keep doing what we've been doing, block punts, and, get great field position for the offense.
Or are you ready to have those fans there finally for this first home opener?
Yeah, man, it's exciting to have, the young fans, the old fans, and just like people from all over, all different backgrounds, just to come in and just have a good camaraderie and just cheering for the dogs and the team. It's a fun time. It's always great to play in front of the fans.
And what kind of boost does that give to a team in a game?
It give us a great boost, because like you always got other people. You look online all the time and you look at standings and stuff. But it's like when you come to the field and your team just cheering you on no matter what, it give you that little extra like oomph you want to, like, so you can, like, do it for them. You know, it's more than just for you. It's important to get a win regardless. Every week we don't want to be 1-0 no matter the outcome. In the first 2 weeks it hasn't happened, but, you know, it just, you know, we want to come into the week and just be 1-0 regardless.
That was Lawrence Woods, lively as always, and a guy the Ticats are happy to have back on defense and on that special teams. Bo Levi Mitchell is out for tomorrow's game. He will dress, but as Coach mentioned earlier in the week, there is almost a 0% chance he starts or even plays in this game. Matt Shiltz will be the guy stepping in, and this is a guy who I feel confident will do a tremendous job for the Ticats. He's done it before. He did it last season in place of Dane Evans, and now he does it here again, stepping up in place of the injured Bo Levi Mitchell. I asked him about getting that first start in of the season and more. All right, Matthew, getting the start tomorrow. What are your emotions heading into this one?
Yeah, definitely excited. You know, grateful for the opportunity, and you know, it's unfortunate the situation. You know, always as a backup that gets those opportunities. You know, it's usually with an injury to the starter. So, you know, I feel for Bo, but it's just our next man up mentality in the building, and the only thing that you're kind of guaranteed is adversity, and no matter what position you are on the field, you got to be ready when your number's called. So just preparing the same I always do, and looking forward to go out in there and helping the team however I can. So.
A couple new guys on that O-line. Just how's it been adjusting with them and getting used to those guys throughout the week?
Yeah, it's been great. There were a lot of the guys that, you know, during training camp that I was working with, you know, with that second group. So there's a few guys that got some experience already playing against Montreal defense. So we're excited, man. We're excited to see what they can do out there under the lights and have all the confidence in the world in them.
And the home opener now, you're playing in front of the Ticats fans finally. How much of a boost and how much extra does that help having them cheering you on?
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Anytime you can get back in the home stadium after being on the road for a couple weeks, is going to be awesome. So we're all excited. We're excited to get out there against a good opponent, divisional opponent, and go out there and do what we do.
And is it always maybe a little more fun playing against the former team?
Yeah, definitely. You know, I think those kind of game jitters against the former team kind of get out that first year when you leave. So, you know, at the end of the day, it's just another opponent. You know, they're a great team. They're going to be well coached. They're going to be physical, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to it.
And what does this offense need to do just to get off to a quicker start?
Yeah, I think we just got to stay on the football field. We got to string some plays together, string some drives together, get first downs, and be physical. Just match their intensity. They're going to be a physical team. That's what they pride themselves in that defense, and they're going to be well coached. So as long as we can protect the football, do what we do as an offense, and just trust that the plays are going to be there when they're there, and go out there and make them. So
that was Matt Shiltz, and he seems ready to go and ready to play in front of this Ticats hometown crowd. The final player I spoke to was James Butler, and what is there to say about JB that hasn't already been said? This guy's been a beast so far this season and is doing exactly what has been expected of him so far, and he had a touchdown in each of his first 2 games. He spoke on continuing the hot start, playing in front of this Ticats crowd, and more. So, James, 2 solid games for you to start the season so far. What are you looking to do to keep that strong play going here heading into our home opener?
Just to continue doing what I'm doing, you know what I'm saying? Whatever play is called, whatever role I'm provided with, just try to make the most of it.
And now your first home opener here in Hamilton. What are your emotions heading into that first one here at Tim Hortons Field?
I'm excited, you know what I'm saying? My mama comes today. She has all her friends coming, you know what I'm saying? Got her jersey, got everybody T-shirts, so we're excited for our first home opener in Tim Hortons.
And Matthew Shiltz getting the start. What can you tell me about playing with him and having him as the starter here for the game?
Man, super smart, you know what I'm saying? A guy that works hard, that prepares like a starter, you know, every week. So I'm excited for Shiltz. You know, guys are going to want to definitely sell out for Shiltz, so I'm excited.
And maybe a couple new guys in that O-line to get adjusted to. How's it been working with them throughout the week for practice?
Yeah, just like Matt, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's preparing like like a starter, you know, every week. So it's always a next man up mentality. You know, I'm excited for a couple young guys to be playing, and I'm excited to see what we can do.
That was James Butler looking to get it done tomorrow night in front of the hometown crowd. Now, the final guy I caught up with is my good buddy, Louis B., the host of the Speaking with the Enemy show right here on the Ticats Audio Network, and the former host of this show, Ticats Today. I wanted to chat with him about this Ticats team and what he's seen so far this season and what needs to be done in this game against the Montreal Alouettes. Louis, it's been a couple weeks since we've caught up. Just wanted to get your thoughts on this Ticats team heading into this game with Montreal. What have you noticed from this team in the first couple of weeks that you're looking to see maybe different in this Alouettes game?
I think it's been really tough to see anything and to really extrapolate any specific kind of battle just because they've been banged up so much. And, you look at the way that they played. They were playing a Winnipeg team that mostly stuck together from last year while they were a new bunch still trying to figure everything out. And then you go into Toronto and you're kind of in a similar situation where there's a Toronto Argonauts team that, again, is mostly intact from last year, that's well rested coming off of week 1 bye. And, I think the Ticats showed flashes of what they can do and who they can be in those games, but it wasn't good enough. And, coach will say it, and a lot of people say it wasn't a full 60-minute effort. They weren't the better team on all 3 aspects of the game and special teams. But the thing is, at points they have looked like the better team. They've looked really good on special teams at times. They've looked good on offense. Times and defense, again, there's a lot of new faces trying to figure it out. And then you add the component of injuries that they're really banged up. That offensive line, Milty and I were talking about it, sitting out watching practice today where it feels a lot of deja vu. It feels like, okay, we've been through this before. The 0-2 starts, the injuries on the offensive line, the injuries to the receivers. So, yeah, it's, I'm not concerned. It's week 3. It's a long season. But this is a big game. It's a divisional opponent. It's at home. It's your home opener. The Grey Cup's going to be played here in November. Like, you really want to set the tone and you want to give fans a reason to think that you're going to be there. And I think they're going to have to show up to do that today.
New QB in Matthew Shiltz. He had an excellent game when he came in for Bo last week, going 14 for 15 with 115 yards. Just what you can tell me on what you think he can bring to this offense.
Yeah, I'm a big Matt fan. I really liked watching him work. As a backup and as a starter last year. Obviously Dane had some injuries last season, so he was kind of thrust into it, and here he is again. And there's a reason he came back. There's a reason that obviously the Ticats wanted him back, and there's a reason that he wanted to be back. He really likes the culture here, and he's a great fit. Not the loudest guy, not the most boisterous guy, but he's a leader, and I think players really respect him and look up to him. And yeah, we saw what he could do in that game against Toronto. He came in and really lit it up. So I'm excited to see Matt. It's a short week. Would have liked to have seen him get a bit more prep, but we've heard it 1,000 times, and I've said it, I've asked it. It's the next man up mentality. It's the waiting room. That's not just something they say again and again and again because they have to. It's because it's what they believe in. It doesn't matter if you're somebody who's been here for 5 years or if you're somebody who's been here for 5 months. You got to be ready to play, and you got to be ready to start and be the guy. So Matt knows that, and I'm excited to see what he can do out there. And you asked it there in the scrum about playing your former team, and you could kind of see he said the right answer, like he gave the right answer, right? Like he was super chill about it. But you kind of saw him smile a bit more, and I know he gets up for these games against Montreal. He plays really well against Montreal. So yeah, I think he's excited, and he's going to come out ready to play.
And finally, how important is it for the Ticats to get this first victory here at home, and how important is that home field advantage here in Hamilton?
It's huge, obviously. If someone's going to correct me on this, if it's not a sellout yet, I'm sure it will be by tomorrow. I'm sure there's only a couple dozen tickets left or something like that. So the atmosphere is going to be intense. It's going to be a great crowd. These fans have been wanting to see this team, and they want to see this team win. So it's going to be a good, big one. I know, having sat in this room for the last 7 years, you never ask whether or not this is a must-win game. Coach will never respond to that question unless it's a playoff game. But, this is pretty close to a big game. And this is as big of a game as you can get in June. Then I think you can think of. You're going into the bye week. You're playing a rested Montreal team. So, you got that going against you. But you're going into the bye week. You have to leave it all out there on the field. And it's a big 4-point swing. We've seen how tight the East Division is the last few years. Yeah. Joey Alfieri and I were talking about this on my brand new episode of Speaking with the Enemy, available now on the Ticats Audio Network.
Shameless self-promotion.
Thank you. But Joey and I were talking about this. This is a big 4-point swing. This CFL East Division is always, the difference. This could make the difference between a home playoff date come October, November, or, having to go on the road or having to go into Montreal. So this is a huge game. Not a must-win by any stretch. It's a long season. I think, sometimes we forget about that. When you go down 0-2, last year going down 0-4, you sometimes think, the world is ending. It's not. There's a lot more games. There's going to be 15 more games after this in the regular season for the Ticats to figure it out. But all that being said, it's Montreal. It's at home. The crowd's going to be electric. So yeah, this is a big one for the Cats for sure.
Well, Louis, thank you for joining me, man. Always a pleasure chatting with you. And where what's your show again?
It's called Speaking with the Enemy. It's available on the Ticats Audio Network. This week I sat down with Joey Alfieri.
All right, that's enough. That's Louis Butko.
Right,
thank you, Louis.
Okay.
Louis B, always fun chatting with him, and it was also great chatting with James Butler, Matt Shiltz, Lawrence Woods, and of course Coach O. Ticats fans, remember the home opener tomorrow night. It's a big one. The Ticats looking for that first win of the season right here on home soil at Tim Hortons Field. It all goes down at 7:30 Eastern Time. And tomorrow's alumnus of distinction will be Ticats legend Speedy Banks, who will be at the game being honored, and he will also be signing autographs at the South Plaza from 6:30 to 7 at the Hercules Tire Activation. And guess what? Fan favorite, $5 beers. Who doesn't love $5 beers? They are back, and that starts at 6 o'clock until game time. So make sure you get those drinks in. Cheap drinks. Like, you cannot find $5 beers at any other sporting event. I say this all the time. It's a wicked deal for some cold bevies, so make sure to check that out. That's all the time for me today. Big game tomorrow. Oski wee wee. Thank you for listening to Ticats Today.